March 31, 1970, Japan Airlines Flight 351 left Tokyo bound for Fukuoka. 10 minutes after takeoff, 9 young men, the youngest only 16, stood up armed with samurai swords, guns, and pipe bombs. They were members of the Japanese Red Army, a radical left-wing group determined to overthrow Japan's government and imperial family to establish a communist state. Their plan was bold: hijack a plane, force it to Cuba, receive guerrilla training, and return to Japan to ignite revolution. There was just one problem. The Boeing 727 they seized couldn't make it across the Pacific. When the hijackers learned this, they changed course for North Korea instead. The pilot, stalling for time, told them they'd need to refuel. The plane landed in Fukuoka, where Japanese officials negotiated the release of women, children, and elderly passengers. The pilot asked for a map to Pyongyang as he had no idea where the airport was. The map contained a radio frequency. The pilot used this radio frequency and was given instructions on where to land. The South Korean Air Force were pretending to be North Korean. When Flight 351 landed just outside of Seoul, South Korean authorities staged an elaborate ruse. North Korean flags, propaganda posters, uniformed actors, and even a choir of schoolgirls singing revolutionary songs. Their goal was to trick the hijackers into thinking they had reached Pyongyang so they could arrest them. But the ruse collapsed when the hijackers noticed one crucial omission. There were no portraits of Kim Il-sung. They demanded the plane be refueled so they could fly to the real North Korea. For 3 days, the South Koreans stalled, but with food running out, toilets overflowing, and air circulation failing, a deal was struck. The hijackers agreed to exchange all remaining passengers for Japan's transport minister. On April 3rd at 6:05 p.m., the aircraft took off again, carrying 9 hijackers, the minister, 2 pilots, and 4 crew members. Hours later, it landed in Pyongyang, where North Korean authorities quickly confiscated the hijackers' weapons, only to discover they were fake. The pilots, crew, and minister were sent home after spending a few days being wined and dined by North Korean officials. The hijackers stayed, and life took a strange turn. They were moved into the Revolution Village, just 40 minutes from Pyongyang. Here they enjoyed free housing, chauffeured cars, personal chefs, and every luxury a person could want. Except freedom. They could never leave. By 1975, the men were lonely. Kim Il-sung ordered Operation Marriage, Japanese wives for each hijacker. Some women came willingly. Others were kidnapped from Japan. By 1976, every couple had a child. The regime's plan: indoctrinate the families, then use their Japanese passports for covert operations abroad. But escape was impossible. This is what is known about each hijacker today. Takamaro Tamiya, the oldest at 28 in 1970, and the leader of the group, died of a heart attack in Pyongyang on November 30th, 1995. His wife, Yoriko Mori, is still in North Korea and is on Interpol's wanted list for a 1980 kidnapping in Europe of 2 Japanese nationals. She has always denied these allegations and has stated that the fact she was seen with the 2 missing Japanese nationals days before they vanished is purely coincidental. Their son Taishi was repatriated to Japan in 2004. Kuntaro Yoshida died in North Korea before 1985. Cause of death unknown, although it has been speculated that he died trying to escape. Marital status uncertain. May have died before Operation Marriage. Takeshi Okamoto married Kimiko Fukudome, who was most likely kidnapped. Both died in 1988. Official cause of death is due to a landslide, though some claim they were killed while trying to escape. They had 2 daughters, Hiromi and Chisato. They were raised by Tamiya until his death and later repatriated to Japan in the early 2000s. Yasuhiro Shibata, who was the youngest hijacker at only 16 in 1970, escaped North Korea in 1985 and returned to Japan. He escaped alone and was arrested and imprisoned for 5 years. There has never been any mention of his wife or children. However, there were 2 unnamed daughters that arrived with the children of the other hijackers. If he was married, his wife is likely still in North Korea or dead. Yoshimi Tanaka was arrested in Thailand in 1996 with $120,000 in counterfeit U.S. bills. He tried to flee in a North Korean diplomatic vehicle and was captured. Extradited to Japan in 2000, sentenced to 12 years, served 5, died in 2007. His wife Kyoko and daughter were repatriated to Japan in 2004. Kyoko was arrested and given a suspended sentence for passport violations. Moriaki Wakabayashi is still in North Korea as of 2014. His wife Sakiko is also still in North Korea and is wanted by Interpol. Their son Kantetsu was repatriated in the early 2000s. Kimihiro Uemoto is still in North Korea. His wife Tomiko returned to Japan in early 2000s with daughter Yoko and young son. Tomiko received a suspended sentence for passport violations. Shiro Akagi is still in North Korea. His wife Emiko returned to Japan in 2002 and received a suspended sentence for passport violations. Children possibly among unnamed repatriated minors. Takahiro Konishi is still in North Korea. His wife Takako returned to Japan in 2002 with daughter Ritsuko. It is believed that the remaining hijackers want to return home but are being held in North Korea against their will. No one knows for sure. The members and their families who have returned stay out of the limelight, instead preferring to live a quiet, peaceful life. Do you think they would have gone to North Korea if they knew they could never return? Put your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.